reaction for Liverpool versus Southampton last night. Obviously, as you will notice, it is about just the 20 hours late. I don't know if any of you guys saw my short last night, but I was actually at the cinema with my mommy last night, and I actually went to see The Sound of Music. As in, not a remake, obviously, as in like a re-release. Yeah, I don't look the type, do I? No, actually, randomly, Sound of Music's one of my favourite films. For the younger generation, please go and watch it. It's an absolute masterpiece. Anyway, long story short, I wasn't able to watch the Southampton match. And some of the subscribers already know this, but me and my vaunted brother were going to shout out, bro. I hope today went all right. We were going to go to the Southampton match until my brother pointed out, haven't you already said that you are going to watch The Sound of Music with your mother? Q. I was just like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. So yeah, I actually should have been at Southampton last night, and I would have had really good analysis and report for you, but sadly, I did not get to go. Anyway, it's fine. It's cool. Not a problem. Just to say before I get started that obviously, as per usual, this will be going out as a podcast, which is Geek Boy, a Liverpool story, and also it'll be on YouTube video whenever YouTube would like to process my videos. Like, I don't know if it's just because I'm on phone and other devices, but mine seem to take like ages to actually upload as opposed to the shorts that go through just like that. So yes, I'm trying to work on it, but yes, it will probably be coming out, I'd imagine it'll be about like maybe 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Anyway, cool. So in terms of the Southampton match last night, I wasn't expecting it to have the dramatic repercussions it actually had. I just thought this was going to be I didn't think we were going to batter Southampton. People that were saying like 6 and 7-0, I was like, well, they're not. That's not going to happen, obviously. But I was just expecting a quiet 2-0, maybe a 3-1. Not a great deal happening. A couple of debuts. As it turns out, we have one enraged manager and an assistant. We have another player who is now out for 12 months with an ACL, which I will get onto in a minute. And just as a preview, I am not delighted with the football club, as many as you will not be. And also, we now have a striker who is banned for the important match against Crystal Palace because he felt the need to show his abs to everyone. Yeah, I'll get on to Mr. Ekatike in a minute because I do have some thoughts about this, which are not necessarily the most complimentary. But yeah, no, main thing is obviously we got through 2-1. So I've actually got a schedule of stuff that I want to talk about, but the draw tonight is going to be after the game that Sky show, and I was going to find out when the draw was for you guys, and I've completely forgot to do it. So if you just bear me a second, I would imagine it's going to be sort of half past 10. But obviously, Sky are a bit funny with that sometimes because basically, well, they're just overrun, don't they? So let me just have a look. League Cup draw for the fourth round is. We're getting there, BBC Sport, yada yada yada. Proceedings will start at the conclusion of the third round tie between Port Vale and Arsenal. Wow. Yeah, I will not be tuning in for that, to be fair. Man United, Sunderland, Leeds United, West Ham, Bournemouth, Villa, Burnley, and Nottingham Forest are all out so far. So yeah, hi Ultimate Gamer Leo, how you doing, mate? You all right? Yeah. So in terms of the draw, I don't know who wants what. I would actually really like us to get Wrexham, just because I've been pretty obsessed with them because of obviously the Disney show that they've got with Ryan and McElhenney, and I just think that would be hilarious for Wrexham to come to Anfield, and I'm sure they'll give a very good account of themselves as well. I'm not sure who else is left in the draw. I mean, in terms of getting tickets, I would like something along the lines of Swansea or Grimsby Town. It's no offence to those teams, obviously, but it's just way easier for people like me to get tickets. I like I said, I use this app called, I think it's Seat Loader or something like that, and that's the only way me and my brother and mates have been able to get tickets for the last 2 years, basically. So I'd like a lower league side at Anfield, which of course means we are going to get Chelsea or Manchester City away from home, doubtless, I would have thought, but there we go. I suppose the thing is with the League Cup, if we do go out to someone like, I don't know, for example, like Villa away, you can kind of brush it off and go, well, it's not priority, it's a change side, and there's no disgrace in losing to like a Villa away from home or a Man City or a Chelsea away from home. It's if you lose away at Grimsby Town, because you have to be pretty rubbish to do that, basically. Yes. Anyway, but yeah, we got through 2-1. And it was, and I've completely forgot. Obviously, yeah, Alexander Isak scored his first goal, really well taken. Love the celebration afterwards. It was boss, as the Scousers would say. Can I just say as well? I've got it to talk about later, but shout out to Federico Chiesa. So those two assists and the way the man played yesterday, because I've since rewatched it, obviously, so I had to rewatch the whole game this morning. I thought Chiesa was outstanding. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And yes, I take the point. It's just Southampton in the League Cup. However, I do have some fairly strong thoughts on Federico Chiesa, and it might involve Arna maybe not being as stubborn as he usually is, but we'll get on to that. First things first, then. Hugo Ekitike. Potentially it's one of the stupidest things I have ever seen anyone do in life, let alone a football match. Um, I mean, when I watched the replay of it this morning, you could actually literally see Liverpool players running towards Hugo to celebrate. And obviously, we've all seen the images of Jeremy Frimpong, but there's about 2 or 3 lads behind him going, like slow motion, going, no. And when Frimpong, and it wasn't funny at the time, obviously, when Frimpong looks at it, I mean, like the memes and the gifs this morning, honestly, there's one where Frimpong is like, looks incensed. And it's just, honest to God, I was literally crying tears of laughter. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Long story short, it wasn't a disaster because I believe Ekatike scored, what was it, the 86th minute or something along them lines. Which meant that the lads, I think it was, what was it, 4 minutes extra time? Basically, the lads had to hold out for 8 minutes, give or take, 8, 9 minutes, whatever it was, against a second division team. Which it is difficult because at the end of the day, you're still playing against 10 men, but you'd think with the lads, the experience they've got, they just bring on a couple of lads, firm it up, and then see the game out. And in fact, that I think Liverpool nearly scored at the end as well. I think Chiesa had a shot or something. Was it Chiesa? I can't remember now. But yeah, obviously Liverpool can play with 10 men. I mean, obviously we've done it with when Verge got sent off against Newcastle, when Robbo got sent off against Fulham. I mean, the lads can keep going. So it wasn't a disaster. What I do take exception to with Ekatike is that, look, he's a young man, he's made a mistake, he's 23 years old. Look, I mean, when I was 23, I had to be helped from underneath a heavy goods vehicle by a load of my mates because I'd had far too much to drink, and I thought underneath the HGV was in fact my bed. There. That football. Yeah, imagine yourself going on a channel that you don't even want to watch. I'll sort that out for you. Goodbye. Yeah. So, yeah. Like I said, there's the stupidity of what Ekatike did last night. I mean, it was just. I mean, obviously, Arne Slot had the press conference, and yeah, he was not pleased to say the least. Pretty much called Ekatike stupid, and I would echo those sentiments. But yeah. Oh, hi, A. How you doing? yeah, no, it was it was just completely stupid and daft, wasn't it? At the end of the day, but I the main issue that I've got with Ekatike is he has now got himself banned, not from the next round of the League Cup that I thought. He's got himself banned from Crystal Palace. Now, this is the game where, just to remind you guys, that if Liverpool can win and if Arsenal drop points against Newcastle, there's a scenario where Liverpool finish this weekend 8 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Now, look, I'm not suggesting after 6 games that would be it, but 8 points is basically not far off 3 games ahead of the rest of your rivals. I mean, obviously, Tottenham and Bournemouth might close in on us, but obviously, with the greatest respect to both of them, I don't think Bournemouth and Tottenham will be winning the Premier League at all. I mean, maybe they might, I don't know, but I can't see it at the end of the day. The point is, the points total that we'd be ahead of from Arsenal, if, of course, Arsenal lose to Newcastle, which they might not do, they might go back to Newcastle. But, like, at the end of the day, I don't. It's not. Look, at the end of the day, I've got in my notes. Look, it's not a disaster that Hugo Ekatike is American Manchester United. Oh, sorry, I don't know what that means, man. It's not a disaster at the end of the day because look, we've got Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong who can play there. You've got Cody Gakpo, you've got Rio Ingabo, you've got Federico Chiesa. There's loads of options. We are probably not going to miss Hugo Ekatike for a game. However, obviously Slot would have planned his substitutions and what the team selection and this, that, and the other. And maybe someone is now going to get, I don't know, playing time that wasn't going to get it, and maybe it buggers up something else. I don't know. So it could have been worse, to be honest. And I suppose it's not a disaster, but I hope Ekatika learns from it quickly. Like I said, I'm not gonna have a go at him too much. To be fair, like I said, he's a young lad, but he does need to learn from it, basically. Yeah. Sorry, folks. I've just been taken completely off my stride by. I talk about this every single time I come on live. So, Braden Hitman, which is one of the stupidest names I've ever heard in my entire life, to be honest, has basically come on the live stream and is asking why I'm talking about football. Like I said, I'm a lot older than you guys, and I am kind of new to this, but I've never understood this fascination with going online and going, haha, I've disrupted your live streaming. What do you get paid for that or something? What are we doing here? Like, mate, you're a troll. Simple as that. So jog on, sweetheart, basically. Yeah, no, let's have a look. No way, this is the only one, sorry. Hello, HFWL, how you doing? Yeah, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was obviously Alexander Rees. That's fine, he's got his first goal, which is great. So hopefully he'll be smashing them in now. I thought he played quite well from what I saw of the highlights and what I saw. I think so, Harry. Yeah, was it my memory is not great. Was it about 2 or 3 weeks ago? Was it on one of the live reactions? I do recognise your name, Harry. Yes, no, I do. Yeah, I recognise you, mate. Yeah. Thanks for watching again, dude. Yeah, no, I just wanted to talk about Giovanni Leone. I assume everyone has now heard. I'll get back into the comments in a minute, folks, but I just want to say my piece on Leone. So obviously he played really well last night. Oh yeah, I thought so, mate. I thought so. Nice one. So Leone last night, basically it's turned out he's done his ACL, for want of a better phrase, and obviously it's not his fault, and I'm absolutely gutted for him as an 18-year-old lad, and it's horrendous to. No, I don't. Sorry. It's a horrendous thing that's happened to him. Look, he's 18 years old. He'll come back at 19. I'm sure he'll have a fantastic career and everything. But I just wanted to talk about Liverpool. Obviously, look, we've had one of the best transfer windows of all time, and I feel really bad about saying this. but the chase for Mark Gahey has proved to be an absolute fiasco and a debacle. For the reason that now, basically, to back up Ibu Konate and Virgil van Dijk, we've got Joe Gomez, who, let's face it, is not exactly the most reliable defensive option in the world. If Gomez goes out at some point, basically Verge and Ibu are playing nearly every single game, and Ibu Konate's injury record, it's not atrocious, it's also not great. However, yeah, it's a Liverpool live stream. Hey, sorry, yeah, I'm not talking about them. If if Joey does go out, I mean, we are. I mean, basically, for want of a better phrase, we're screwed. Um, Obviously, Wataru. I've looked at the defensive options. Wataru Endo can play at centre back, right? Endo at centre back, no problem whatsoever. I'm fine with that personally. Andy Robertson can do a job at centre back. I saw him play against Bilbao, and to be fair, he was really good. But again, he's playing against a B side for Bilbao in a pre-season match. I mean, it's not much of a sample size to go on. Now, Grav can play at centre back, and I did talk about this a while ago. That if theoretically, if you put Gravenberch at centre back, obviously he can bring the ball out, spray it about as like a sweeper, like I don't know, like a Beckenbauer or Baresi used to do back in the day. But you've got then that would allow you to have Sobbo, Verts, and McAllister in the same midfield, so you've got all four of them in midfield. But if you take Gravenberch out of central midfield at the minute, Liverpool are going to be left wide open. I mean, obviously, I know you've got Gravenberch and Van Dijk, who will do a great job. I think that would be a really good combo, to be honest. But I mean, defensive wise, I mean, I don't particularly want to see Alexis McAllister in the six, really. I mean, Sobbo could maybe do it if it got to that stage. I really don't know. The other option, obviously, you've got Nallo, and you've now got, I cannot believe this, to be honest, Reece Williams. Talk about coming back from the dead. So, obviously, I'm sure you guys mostly know that, obviously, we lost all those centre backs in the 2020, 2021. So, it was the COVID year when Man City won their COVID title. See, I can joke too. Um, and yeah, basically we lost. Verge went out, Joel Matip went out, Joe Gomez went out, and I think we had another centre back at the time. I can't remember who it was, but one of the young lads went out as well. And basically, we were left with Reece Williams and Nat Phillips. And Jurgen at the time was like, "Well, I'm not playing these two lads. I'll play Fabinho and Henderson." And basically, it was an unmitigated debacle for nearly 3 months. And from going for a point where Liverpool were 5 points clear, we ended up being 8 points behind the Champions League place. Q, Reece Williams came in and Klopp was just like, fine, I'll play them as central defence and I'll put Henderson and Fabinho back in. And to be fair, those two lads were absolutely outstanding. We wouldn't have got to the Champions League without Reece Williams and without Nat Phillips at the end of the day. So, yeah, and then Nat, obviously Nat kind of played for us a little bit, but Reece kind of dropped out after that, and then he's been on a couple of loans. I think he went to Blackpool, Aberdeen, Yeovil, possibly. I can't remember exactly where he's been, but he's been to a load of places, and I think everyone thought, well, he's going to be off, but he ended up back in Rob Page's under-21 team. And Rob Page said the other day, well, Reece has been taken out, and obviously he was in the squad last night. Now, if Leone's out, I mean, I guess in the league you could probably just have Gomez for the next 2 to 3 matches, but I am just expecting Joe Gomez to break down. I don't mean that rudely to Joe Gomez at all, but obviously, look, I mean, we've all seen what's happened multiple times. If that happens, I mean, what are we doing? Is it Reece Williams? Is it Nallo? Do we have Gravenberch and weaken the midfield? Or, I mean, personally for me, I would just say just have Wataru Endo, and just have Endo literally be the defensive option for now. I think Endo's very, very good at defending. So, yeah, that's what I'd go with. But I suppose you could have Reece Williams. But yeah, the only thing could, if anything's going to stop us now winning the Premier League, it's this. So, my advice to Liverpool is please, for the love of God, just sign Mark Gay in January. And if you've got to pay 15 million quid, just pay the damn money and just buy him in January. We'll cope till January, and preferably just pick up another free agent, please, to cover. I mean, that is what should have happened. Again, I'm not being ungrateful about transfer business Liverpool have done. Obviously, it's fantastic up front in midfield, but it was obvious something like this was going to happen defensively. It's just poor recruitment as far as I'm concerned. Once they knew that the Gay thing was going to be complicated, they immediately should have just gone, right, we'll go elsewhere and we will sign, I don't know, off the top of my head, Ezri Konza or the lad from AC Milan whose name I can never remember. What is his name? Played for England. I can't remember his name. You'll know who I'm on about. Anyway, that is what should have happened, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, unless Liverpool can go into the free agency market. I mean, I had a look at that a few weeks ago, and the only ones that even come up are, and I don't even know if they've got clubs now, I think Craig Dawson and Daniel Amate. I mean, not exactly great options, to be honest. I don't know if they'd be allowed to do an emergency loan. I mean, I wouldn't have thought so. So basically, we're just going to have to cope till January. But January now, it's a good job that that's only technically 12 weeks, and there's 2 international breaks in that time, don't forget as well. So you're talking Liverpool have to get through 8 weeks worth of football before they can get a centre half. So it's not a disaster, but they must go and get Gay or someone else in January after this. Otherwise, they do risk losing the title or whatever else. Yeah, so obviously, like I said, I've talked about Ekatiko's out for Crystal Palace. What else do I want to talk about? Yes, the draw tonight is scheduled for after Arsenal versus Port Vale. One would assume it's going to be about 10:30, so I might, if I can do, I might come back on and do the draw later if I get the chance, which I might not be able to do, I don't know. Yeah, so let me just have a look at the comments. We have Mohit. Hi, Mohit. You all right? And British WT Main. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, the other thing I wanted to talk about, actually, swig of water for the working man. There you go, Liverpool water. The other thing I wanted to talk about, speaking of Ekatike, is Federico Chiesa. Now, I think Arna is going to have to, at some point, not be quite so stubborn, because personally, I think Chiesa's been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic this season. I mean, in obviously the time that he's had, obviously he scored the winning goal against Bournemouth. He had an impact of sorts against Newcastle. The defenders were like panicking when he came on, along with Rio. Obviously scored the goal, and he's now had the 2 assists last night. So look, it's not a great sample size, but he's probably played more minutes than he did last season, and he's been effective in them. He's obviously very, very dangerous. He gets shots away, he gets people into play. What I'm saying is, I think Slot is going to have to admit that Chiesa is an option. I'm not suggesting starting him every week, but I mean, I think we've got to the stage where, I mean, Chiesa needs to prove his fitness. I mean, he's fit now. Obviously, if everyone is fit, it goes without saying that Mo Salah and Alexander Isak have to play. That's not in question. Hugo Ekitike and Cody Gakpo are probably going to be 3 and 4 after that. But I think, obviously, Rio Ingamo is going to be fantastic, but lads, just turned 17 years of age. Chiesa now has to be the main bench option for me. And if there's a way of bringing him back and re-registering for the Champions League in January, I would seriously consider doing it. I mean, I don't know if Leone is counted as homegrown because of how young he is, but if we've lost Leone, and let's say, for example, we get a British defender. I don't. I need to look. I need to look into this, but because I might be completely wrong. But if there is now an opening, I mean, maybe Chiesa can go. I don't even know if Chiesa could go in. That is probably too late to register him. But I mean, there's form, there's injuries, and this, that, and the other. So at the end of the day, I really do think that Chiesa has got a chance. I really, really do, and I just hope Arda gives him a chance. That's all I wanted to say about that, really. Um, yeah, obviously, like I said, draw tonight. Really hope it's Wrexham, because that'd be very, very funny indeed. Like I said, I'm just very much hoping it's a home draw, because then hopefully your boy will be able to source a ticket of some kind. But like I said, looking at that draw, I mean, I've got it up now. I mean, you're talking what, Swansea, Grimsby, maybe Wrexham. You've got a chance of getting a ticket. The rest of them probably not, unfortunately. Yeah, so going on to the weekend, obviously, like I said, the Ekatike thing. Oh, hi Johor. Let me just have a look. Triple H back soon, Sin Cara. Triple H back soon, Buddy Murphy, maybe, possibly. Um, yeah, so obviously we've got Crystal Palace. Oh, just to say as well, I'll be back on for live reaction of the Palace game about 6 o'clock on Saturday night. Fingers crossed, hopefully. Just bear with me on that one. I need to do some bits and pieces with that. Yeah, in terms of the next match against Crystal Palace, obviously all the players have been well rested because there was no Sobbo, there was no Mo, Grav got a rest, Kanate got a rest. Who else? Mission Tomato. Yeah, there was about 5 or 6 players that got a rest basically. So they've had a free week now. So hopefully that'll be decent going in for Palace. I actually think Crystal Palace away from home. Cannot believe I'm saying this is probably our toughest game of the season so far. I think this is going to be extremely, extremely difficult. Selhurst Park, I mean, fair play to Palace. I mean, I do like the Palace fans, and they are like proper supporters and everything. But it's super, super hard getting anything from there. So, I on this occasion would put it this way: if I was presented with a 1-1 draw on Saturday night, I could still have a glass of wine about 10 o'clock and go, do you know what? Fair play, that's fine. Um, Obviously, if Liverpool could do the business this weekend, it would be wonderful because, as I say, Arsenal do have Newcastle this weekend. Obviously, Man City are 7 points behind us. They're not exactly in great form themselves. A Tottenham and Bournemouth threat's not for me. Chelsea, I think, are probably already too far. So you're talking theoretically, and this is going a bit too far, obviously, but we've got Chelsea next weekend as well. After the Palace game, there is a universe where Liverpool could, going into the next international break, be like double digits clear. Obviously, there's a universe as well where we can end up 2 points behind because we lose all the matches, but there we go. But obviously, the run is now difficult. So we've got Palace away, Chelsea away, and then Man United at home. Look, Man United are word that I can't repeat on live stream. But it's Liverpool, Man United. You can never take that one for granted, unfortunately. And they kind of look like they might be coming into a bit of form. So yeah, that one's going to be difficult. But Liverpool do have a chance to extend the lead here, so I would just throw everything into the next 2 league matches. The Galatasaray one for me, obviously you've got to treat it with respect. I would be very tempted not to send Gravenberch, Van Dijk, and Mo Salah, to be quite honest, and just say to the other lads, right, get us through this, just get us a point in Turkey, and then we come back and we try and beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So I think they're far more important. At the end of the day, I don't want us losing, but if we lost to Galatasaray, it's like, well, look, we've already got 3 points. Realistically, Liverpool need, what, another 3 wins out of, what would it be, 7 after that? And I mean, bearing in mind they've got Karabag, PSV, Marseille. I mean, you'd imagine they'd be done with 1 or 2 games to spare, maybe. So I think you could probably take the risk against Gala. But yeah, I mean, Slot doesn't tend to do that, does it? So we'll have to wait and see. In terms of the team, I've got Alison Becker, Kirkes, Virgil van Dijk. I've actually gone with Joe Gomez. The only reason being now is obviously this Leone injury is an absolute pain in the backside, and Canate is going to have his minutes managed because obviously he's going to be playing for France as well. You've got to take into account he could easily pick up an injury, and if he picks up an injury, then Gomez goes out. Then we are in very very deep doo doo to say the least. So I'd actually have Joey Gomez for this one. I'd have Maka, Gravenberch, and I'd go with Sobo, and I'd maybe go with Mo Salah, Alexander Isak for the first half, and then I'd go with, this is the surprise one for me, just because he played really, really well, and I think he is an option after Ekitike goes out. I would go with Federico Chiesa. And I know there's going to be a lot of Liverpool fans going, don't be ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. Look, at the end of the day, the guy's fit. He's had 2 assists, he's had 1 goal, and he's a full Italian international who's won the Euros. It's not like it's a huge risk. The other thing is, guys, as well, if Federico, I can't say his name, if Federico Chiesa has a bad game, it's like, oh no, we have to bring on Cody Gakpo now. That's terrible. That's why we have the squad for. We don't have to. I'm not saying we have to tolerate people playing badly and having terrible matches, but at the end of the day, we also, it's not a disaster if they do, because we literally have about 9 people that can play up front. I mean, look, at the end of the day, Jeremy Frimpong can play as part of the front three, so it's absolutely fine. But that's the team I would go for anyway. So just let us know in the comments on videos later whatever you guys think is fine. Yeah, like I said, Galatasaray, I would go strong, but like I said, with the Chelsea match the week after, and with Liverpool with a huge chance to like basically blow the league away in the first quarter, I honestly would leave 3 or 4 players at home. So I'd leave, Mo will not be happy obviously, but I'd leave Mo at home. I wouldn't take Van Dijk, and I would not take Ryan Gravenberch, to be honest. I'd just have Endo at centre back. See if you could maybe get through with Endo and maybe Gomez. Obviously it'll be difficult, but I don't think Liverpool cannot play Virgil van Dijk. And yeah, fairly sure I haven't. Yeah. We look. The point is, folks, we can't play Van Dijk and Canate the entire season because one or both are going to get injured, and God forbid Verge got injured, we are in serious trouble. But the thing that you have to take into consideration is Virgil van Dijk, as brilliant a footballer he is 34 years old, and he cannot keep going forever and a day. He's going to start getting injuries himself. I mean, as I say, I don't want to have a go at the football club after they've spent all that money, and it's one of the best transfer windows we've ever had. But the lack of foresight to plan adequately for defensive reinforcements is appalling, and they should put everything in on Mark A. There should have been at least 3 or 4 others identified. And it's going to end up like the 2001, 2021, 2020, 2021 season when we lost all them centre backs, and I never thought we'd end up in that situation again, and here we are. So yeah, yeah, that's pretty rubbish, but those are the breaks, unfortunately. Oh, hello. Whoa, what are we doing here? Friday, toy shorts. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry, folks, that's my laptop. It's just started speaking to me, which I would prefer that it didn't, to be quite honest. Let me get that reset. Okay, I'm not sure what the hell that was all about. Yeah, anyway, let me just have a look. I don't know why it's doing that for. The wonders of modern technology. Anyway, let me just have a look at comments while I'm sorting this out. Oh, hi Johnny, how you doing, mate? You're alright. No WWE. Not at the minute. There will be AW tomorrow morning, I think, depending on a thing that I've got. I can't confirm that just at the moment. WWE wise, I'll be on next for Late Night SmackDown review, which will be on Saturday night at 11, I think. give or take. So yeah, that'll be the next time I'm back on my wrestling, dude. You can talk to me about wrestling if you want to, by all means. I'd go Stevie G with Highway McMahon. Stevie Highway on the wing. We have dreams and songs to sing. Yeah, no, I don't think that's going to happen, dude. To be fair. And then Glenn of he of the I have a spider on my head apparently. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, it looks more like a live bird to me, but there you go. I'm just going to try and pull my schedule back, folks, because I don't know what earth my laptop is doing. See, this is why I write my notes on paper. Hey, Pudsey, the guy with the cool name. How you doing? You all right? Yes. I think that was mostly it, folks, to be honest. Like I said, I was just talking about the Galatasaray match, basically. Like I said, I don't think, with the greatest respect to Galatasaray, obviously they've still got some very, very good players and we can't be taking the mick out of them. I just think these Chelsea and Palace matches have now become hugely important. I mean, if we can't win all of them, great, fine. But I do remember you, mate. I never forget a name like that. Like I said, I'm just calling you Pudsey now, dude. Yeah, because I can't remember all that because I will just end up like calling you something weird like Pennywise or something. I don't know because of my stupid lizard brain that I've got. Yeah, no, like I said, the Galatasaray thing, as far as I'm concerned, they don't need to be playing a full strength season. But at the end of the day, that, like I said, the Crystal Palace and Chelsea matches take priority. Look, point is, if we can get 7 points from Man United at home, Chelsea away, and Crystal Palace away, you're talking at that point, with my appalling maths, how many have we played so far? That would be 8 matches. You're talking 8, 60. You're bordering on a third of the season's gone, and potentially there might be, you're talking a 7 or 8 point lead. I mean, yeah. Hey, there we go. Nice one, Pudsey. Yeah, I can definitely remember that. There's a Pudsey down the road from where I live, actually. But yeah, I'm not suggesting, by the way, that the league is over if we get a 7 or 8 point lead. Obviously, we still have to take that seriously. But the one thing I would say is the players, when they've got the lead, I mean, you've got the 2020 season lads, 3 or 4 who are still there, and you've got the ones from last year. When Liverpool get a lead in the title race, like a big one, I mean, we usually do pretty well out of that, to be fair. I mean, the only time that we really messed it up when we've had a huge lead was the season we won the European Cup, because I think, unless I'm making this up, and I could be, that was the season where we had a 10-point lead after Bobby scored a hat-trick against Arsenal in that 5-1. I think City won the next day, but we still had a 7-point lead. And then we lost to City when Leroy Sané scored the goal. So it was the one where Sadio Mane had that shot cleared off the line. It was like 1 inch or something like that. And then we then drew with United and Everton, of all people, to give the lead back to City, and then we ended up losing the league by a point, but then we won the European Cup. I think that's the right season. But yeah, no, generally, if Liverpool get a lead in the title race, I mean, basically we win the title. I mean, it's not a massive sample size, obviously. It's not a massive sample size, but yeah, if we can get a lead, I probably think that the league definitely isn't over, but I think people will be struggling to catch us. And don't get me wrong, we still have very, very difficult matches to go. There's a long way to go, but I just think the next 2 league games are very, very important. If they can, especially Man United as well, I think if they get 7 points out of that, we are laughing, basically. So yeah, that's all I want to say about that. Johnny, don't worry about our centre-backs, by the way. Johnny, you know, I said to you the other day, mate, anxiety, stress and panic attacks, mate. You can tell me not to worry as much as you want to, pal. It ain't going to happen, unfortunately. Like I said, mate, I'm just worried about... I think if Ibu had the same injury record as Van Dijk, I would probably be like, just chill, it'll be fine. But just because Ibu's injury record is not brilliant. Also, as well, you've got the thing in the back of your head, like, I'm not saying Ibu's not going to be committed, and I would never accuse him of that. Obviously, he has got that potential move in the back of his mind. March, April, is he going to be throwing himself into challenges 50-50s? Maybe. Maybe he won't. I don't know. So look, we only suffer because Jordan Pickford throw Van Dijk at the top. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Hence why I always laugh at Jordan Pickford, because of the tiny arms, tiny arms. Yeah, Shane Maxwell. Pudsey, all trains to platform 1 Northern Services Leeds train has been cancelled. Oh, sorry, Pudsey. Yeah, that sounds very much like Leeds, to be completely honest, with our transportation systems, which are the worst in England, basically. Johnny, don't worry, lad, don't worry. I'll try my best, Johnny. I'll try my best. Oh, Pudsey, glad you're back there. Yeah, to be honest, Fritz, I think that's pretty much me wrapped up. So I just wanted to say that, yeah, so like I said to Johnny a minute ago, I should be doing AEW Dynamite live reaction tomorrow morning, but that now depends yet again, and I'm sure you'll all be familiar with this sort of thing. That depends on the actions of a rogue family member, whose name I will not reveal, but they know who they are because they're probably watching. So, yeah, I'm not sure about tomorrow morning, so that might have to be tried. I will definitely do an AEW Dynamite reaction, but it may end up having to go like an hour afterwards. In terms of Liverpool, like I said, I'll be back on for live reaction Crystal Palace, which will be about 6 o'clock. And on the same night, I'm doing SmackDown live reaction because, as subscribers will know, I can't do it because I have a son and he wakes up early, blah, 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 blah. You've heard the story before. So, yeah, so SmackDown live reaction will be on Saturday night. And after that, let me just have a look. There will actually be something on Sunday, for once, because I am going to release a trailer about something that's happening in October to do with Halloween. So yeah, keep your eyes out about 8 o'clock on Sunday night. There you go. If you've heard me do my little roundup stuff, you can probably guess what it is, but it's Halloween related. Let's just put it like that. But if you've been watching me for a while, I have been talking about bits and pieces. I'm sure you can probably guess what it is, but yeah, just keep an eye out for a trailer on Sunday night at about 8 o'clock, give or take. Then going into the next week, I'll be doing Monday Night Raw live reaction. And I'm going to check this week because, yet again, bloody Monday Night Raw. The only reason I found out the time had been changed is because some alert came out from Denise Salcedo. And I was like, why is Denise going live now? For all of a sudden, I was just like, yeah, so I need to miss Raw. So I'm going to check. If they carry on doing the early start, it'll be 2:30. If not, it'll be 3:30. And then I'll be doing live reaction for the gala match, because I'm watching that at my family's house. So the live reaction will be either late, about 12 o'clock, or it might be early morning the next day. Yeah, leave that one with us. I'm like I said, unfortunately, due to circumstances at the minute, I'm going to have to be a bit vague with start times and stuff because there is a lot of there's a lot of stuff going on in the Geek Boy Mansion in a minute. Is the politest thing I can say, basically. Oh, glad it's cleared, Pudsey. Well done, lad. Mary Poppins, better chim chim in, chim chim in. Now I'm just getting ready for the train. Oh, good lad, well done. I hope you get home safely, Pudsey. Yeah, Mary Poppins. Yeah, I actually watched. Said at the start, just I forgot what it was. Sound of Music last night. I don't know if you saw the little short that I did. Basically, I had to because I went with my mum because Sound of Music is one of my favourite films. Yes, I know I don't look like a Sound of Music fan, but honestly, I absolutely love it. I think it's one of the greatest movies that ever been made. So me and my mum are watching it, but all of a sudden I realised I'd left my phone on, and it tingled a couple of times. So I was just like, "Mum, I'm just going to go to the toilet." All right, son. Then basically ran out. uh, to look, and then so I was outside the City World in Birstall, and then saw that Isak had scored. So I was like, yes, get in there. I thought, right, I'll just do like a really little short, and I was just like, um, hooray, Alexander Isak scored for Liverpool, woohoo! I'm in a cinema. See you later, bye. Press send. So it was like the shortest short that I've ever done. But then it tingled again, and I had a sneaky look at Southampton and equalised, and I was like, oh, for God Almighty's sake! So for the next 10 minutes of The Sound of Music, and this could only happen to me, could only happen to me. I'm sat there going, what on earth is going on? I'm trying to watch, and all of a sudden it tingled again. And I try and pull my phone out like this, and it says Ekatike scores in the 86th, 78th minute. And I sat there, there was a row of people, there's a row of people next to us, and I'm sat there going, get in there. What I didn't realise when I looked back up, it was the scene when the Nazis came out to take over Austria. Just literally, I'm sat there going, get in there. And I'm just like, my mum sort of sat going, hell are you doing? I was just like, oh my God, this is seriously. And then just to cap it off, my phone goes tingling again, and then it says Ekatike sent off, and I'm just like, what is going? Can I not have a night of peace from Liverpool? Seriously. So I had this very uncomfortable 8 minutes, and then the result finally came through, and it was yeah, it was a very strange way of watching Liverpool Football Club. I mean, I have literally watched Liverpool in the most bizarre, or listened to the game or found the results in the most bizarre places in the corners of the universe you could possibly imagine. Oh, sorry, you've missed it, Punter. Um, I've listened to Liverpool against Charlton Athletic in a barn. Don't ask me why. Yeah. You have a spider on your head. Yeah. Yes, Glenn, thank you. Yeah. I've listened to Liverpool whilst dying in Ghana of malaria. You guys don't need to know about that. It was a long, long time ago. Sorry, this is quite depressing. And I found out that Liverpool have beaten West Ham during a wedding reception, which that could have gone very, very badly for me. Found out Divock Origi had scored the second goal against Everton about 2 years ago. During the wedding, when I realised I'd left my phone on and I had a sneaky look, and my missus literally turned. That look that Stewie does in Family Guy, where his head goes like that, that was literally the wife. So yeah, I've listened to all sorts of daft places, but there we go. Wesley Van Ruin. Ruin? I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Zone, sorry. LFC, you guys deserve the Premier League once again. Chelsea gave me a shocker performance against Man United. All credit. Oh, thank you, Wesley. That's very kind of you. Yeah, I think we deserve it too. No, like I said, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Johnny, bro beat malaria. I did. 10 years old. Funny story, actually. My dear departed father, who's no longer with us, sadly, swig of water to the old man. He decided, much to my mother's annoyance, that I needed character building at the age of 10, and sent me on a plane on my own to Accra in Ghana, which is the capital city. And funnily enough, when I was watching a Liverpool game over there, because they actually carried the what was the old First Division back in the day, on their TV program, so I was able to watch Liverpool while I was in Ghana, which was insane. And Ghana actually won the Under-21 World Championships as well while I was there. It was a very strange holiday. But whilst I was meant to be watching Liverpool, you know those tablets that you used to take back in the day when you went to like foreign countries or whatever. I'd be lying to my Ghanaian family saying, yeah, I'm taking them. So I'd be going, delicious. Then I'd be spitting them out in the sink going, suckers. Anyway, I did that for 5 days and I contracted malaria and ended up on a drip and nearly died. So if there's a lesson to be taken from that, kids, if anyone ever tells you to take tablets or get injections to go to foreign countries, make sure you do it and do not do what I did. Because when you've got a doctor stood over you saying, You might want to call his parents in England because he's about to die. Because the Ghanaians, bless them, they're not the most tactful of people at times. Um, yeah, no, it wasn't cool. It really was not cool. But funnily enough, they actually said, "Do you want? Is there anything we can get for you?" And I actually said, "Can I have a radio?" And they were like, "Why do you want a radio for?" And I remember saying, "Because the Merseyside derby's on." They were like, "Who is this boy? What is he talking about?" So I actually listened to the Merseyside derby in 1991, whilst I was nearly dying and got better. So yeah, hence the Liverpool thing. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I don't think I needed to tell you that story, but fine, cool. Would love to know if you plan on sending your son there. You must be joking. If you plan on sending your son there, I'd back you. Oh, sounds like a crazy experience. I doubt you would deal with your hardships well. Yeah, no, dude, it is what it is. Would I send my son? You never met my missus, have you? No, no, Johnny, I wouldn't, because she would murder me. Like, absolutely murder me. I mean, it would. Put it this way: did you see the Cena and Brock Lesnar match last week? Times that by 20, and that's what would happen to me if I suggested it to Mrs. Met, much less went through with it, basically. So yeah. Oh, John Mitch, hi bro, how you doing? Yeah. Yeah, nice to meet you too, bro, as well. I think we've spoke before, haven't we? Possibly. I don't know. Oh, maybe I don't know. I'm sorry, folks. I've had a very strange day and heads all over the place at the minute. Your missus would F5 you through that. Yeah, she would, mate. She would. She's not. Um, she's only she's a very thin woman, but she can handle herself. Just think Yorkshire Ronda Rousey, basically. So yeah. I do support Liverpool, John. Yes, yes, been talking about them for the last hour nearly, and I'm going to be wrapping up shortly as well. But yeah, oh, that's what I was on about, folks. So, yeah, keep an eye on my for my cinematic trailer. I mean, don't expect too much. I'm not exactly Quentin Tarantino, but yeah, keep an eye out for that on Sunday. That'll be about 8 o'clock. And like I said, I'll be back on for Liverpool around 6 o'clock this Saturday, but again that also depends on the good old family. But yes, we will see what happens with that. Cool, nice one everyone. I will be I'm just trying to see if there's anything that I've missed. Right. Oh yes, that was the other thing. I just wanted to say oh, let me just handle these. Hi mate, love your show. Do Liverpool needs actually you lost the other one. Oh, thank you, Kevin. Cheers. Nice one. Oh, cheers, dude. I am not the most intelligent person that you'll ever see do one of these shows, but yeah, thank you for that, mate. Cheers. Do Liverpool need to get a good defender as you lost the other one? Yes. So what I said a minute ago was that I think Liverpool are just going to have to pull the big boy pants up and admit they have royally somethinged it up, is the politest thing I could say. In January, if they still want Mark Gahey just to get to the head of the queue, just go to Crystal Palace and say, look, here's 20 million quid. You're not going to get bugger all for him in 4 months. Here's 20 million quid. In fact, to tell you what, there's 22 million. Just give them the money and take Gahey, admit you've made a mistake, and crack on from there. Why they on earth they did not pivot from Mark Gahey, I do not know. Because once it was clear that the man was not going to be signing for us, they should have gone for, like I said, that's it. I've remembered what his name is now. Is it Fikayo Tomori? I'm not suggesting it should have been him, obviously, but I'm just trying to give an example. Or they should have gone to Villa and said, how much for Ezra Konza? Or something along them lines. Or go to ask for, I don't know, Eric Laporte or something along them lines. I don't think they're as good as what we've got. But we're just talking a backup. So, for example, if, I don't know, if Liverpool signed Laporte, for argument's sake, you would now have Laporte coming in instead of Leone. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I just think it's been appallingly mismanaged by Liverpool, and I don't understand why they've done this again. The club got burnt by this 4 years ago when we ended up playing Henderson Fabinho. I don't know why on earth they've risked everything by penny pinching over a defender. They should have literally have just, if Palace said 40 million, they should have just given him 40 million. It's as simple as that. It was a stupid mistake, and as far as I'm concerned, it's Liverpool's entire own fault entirely. Um, in terms of who else they could get, mate, to be honest, I mean, I would have said Ezri Konza, but I mean, Villa haven't exactly started very well. Plus, you've got to think of how much is that going to cost. You're not going to get a top six rival selling to you necessarily. Yeah, probably someone lines up. I keep coming back to Konza, but I don't know whether, honestly, don't know whether we'd be able to get him. So maybe we're going to have to go into the Championship. Maybe they're going to have to go abroad. Is there someone from Saudi who wants to return to England? Um, I mean, obviously, there's the lad who used to play for Chelsea. What's his name? I forgot his name. Koulibaly. But I mean, is he going to want to come back? And with the greatest respect to the man, is he what we need at the club? I would politely suggest not. So I don't know, but they do need someone, mate. They really do need someone. Sorry, folks. Let me just have a look. Oh, sorry, I've done my trick again. Sorry, I've just got rid of someone. Oops. Apologies, folks, whoever that was. Not sure. Oh, yeah, going back to John. John, best Liverpool player forever. For me, it's Stevie G. Yes. However, Steven Gerrard's the best Liverpool player that I've ever seen play live, and he's the best player that's ever played for Liverpool since I've supported Liverpool Football Club, maybe with the exception of Luis Suarez, but Gerrard did it for what, 10 to 15 years. Suarez was there for what, 2 or 3 years. Um, I would agree with Gerrard, but just from a personal point of view, John, the only reason I got into Liverpool Football Club was because of John Barnes, who obviously played for the Reds way before Gerrard did. And obviously I've told this story a million times, but just indulge me. Basically, I saw John Barnes play in the 1990 World Cup. I asked my old fella, who does John Barnes play for? And he was like, oh, he plays for Liverpool, sir. And I said, oh, I'll support Liverpool then, Daddy. And he was like, yeah, right, because I wasn't actually interested in football, funnily enough. Q's 36 years later, and I'm still a Liverpool fan, so I would not be doing this or watching football if it wasn't for John Barnes. And I saw him play live against Derby County, if you could believe that, in March 1991. Yes, that's how old I am. Went with my dad. It's one of my best ever memories because, like I said before, my old fella died many years ago. And it's one of my best ever memories because I saw John Barnes rip Derby County to shreds. He scored 2 goals, set another two up, and to see him play like, I mean, the Derby County defence was appalling. Well, I mean, obviously 7-1 defeat, so that's fairly obvious. But John Barnes was sensational. It's still probably the best live performance that I've ever seen. Probably that and Luis Suarez I saw play against Wigan. That's one of the best hours of football, even though we drew that match, that I've ever seen from an individual footballer. But yeah, John Barnes was the first to do it. But yeah, no, mate, he was sensational, absolutely sensational. So from my point of view, I know people disagree with this, and I get why they disagree with it, but my personal favourite, if this makes any sense, ever Liverpool player is John Barnes. But I think realistically the best player to ever play for Liverpool. I mean, again, it depends because I never saw Kenny. Unfortunately, I saw Kenny play a little bit, but I wasn't a football fan then, so I'd sit on my dad's knee and watch this, that, and the other games. And I'm fairly sure I did see Kenny Dalglish play, but yeah, no, obviously you're going to have old school Liverpool fans saying, well, I mean, you're going to have older school Liverpool fans saying, well, what about Ian St. John and Roger Hunt and so on and so forth. So I would probably say I'd say overall Steven Gerrard, but my personal favourite is John Barnes, if that makes any sense. I'm sorry, that's a very long-winded answer. Kevin Tucker. Oh, that's no problem, mate. No problem, Kevin, at all. John Barnes and Ian Rush. Yes, lad. Absolutely. I used to love those guys. I loved Beardsley, Rush, and John Barnes when they played that little. It was kind of like a free before a free happened kind of thing, because you had Beardsley sometimes just playing behind those two, and honestly they were sensational. Like when they had Ray Houghton backing them up, and you had Steve McMahon and Ronnie Whelan. And honestly, yeah, it was a brilliant team. Absolutely fantastic. And who would have thought we would have been waiting all those years for the title? But yeah, there we go, folks. But yeah, that was cool. Thank you everyone for chatting with me. Thank you for all the kind words. Apart from whoever that bizarre little troll man at the start. I'll find out what his name is and permanently block him. I mean, he was just. For those of you who didn't see it, folks, there was a gentleman on earlier who was like, haha, man talking about football, what an idiot. Why are you watching someone who you consider an idiot talk about something you have no interest in? Maybe the idiot's in the reflective surface, sunshine. Anyway, on that note, yes, thank you for watching, folks. It's been awesome as per usual. Like I said, I'll be back on. Yeah, I should be back on sort of tomorrow morning, but bear with me on the time. I've listed it as 9:30 for AEW if you're a wrestling fan. Oh, by the way, as well, I don't just do Liverpool. I do football stadiums, Pride Horror, toy hunts, comic cons, and there's loads of different things on the channel. I do a couple of podcasts as well, so please check it out if you want to. Geek Boy Meta, at Geek Boy Meta 7381 if you want to check it out. If you just want to watch and don't subscribe, then no problem at all. But if you want to subscribe, yeah, you're more than welcome to do so. But yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Basically, I've also got Substacks as well, which is, if you don't know what Substack is, it's like a writing platform. So I do like try and do like funny stories on that basically, but a lot of it's to do with Liverpool, to do with match reports and this, that, and the other, and that's Geek Boy Meta as well, on Substack if you want to subscribe to that as well. And that's free of charge to read. It's not a price or anything. Yeah, cool. I think that's everything anyway. Thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow for AEW Dynamite, and the next time I'll see you for Liverpool will be Saturday night against Crystal Palace. Until the next time, up the Reds. See you guys later. Bye bye.